Very good afternoon, one and all present over here. I, Dr. Kunjal Lotwala, welcome you all on behalf of Agarwal Vidya Vihar English Medium College in the session of written and spoken communication. In last lecture, as you know, we have discussed life poem written by Charlotte Bronte, and later on I have discussed the brief of A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise prose written by Rabindranath Tagore, in which I have discussed or I have given the brief idea regarding what is there in A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise prose. This is a story of an artist whom others think of as an idol, meaning it to someone who avoids working and spends his time in a lazy way. And when he dies, nobody thinks that he will go to heaven. But the man was lucky. He is taken to a paradise, but he is taken to wrong paradise. And that is why the title of the prose is A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. With that, I have also discussed with about the author and about the story, where the main aim and main theme of the prose is art for art's sake, where no one is focusing on, no one is getting immense pleasure while pursuing the art, and this is wholly associated with this idea. And I have also discussed that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, means that without time off from work, a person becomes both bored and boring. And that's why to focus on certain kind of issues and theme, let us have a glance on the whole prose. I hope you have text, and if you don't have text, please pay attention to this PDF. A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise, written by Rabindranath Tagore, translated from the original Bengali by Bhabani Bhattacharya. I start reading and explaining. The man never believed in utility. Having had no useful work to do, he indulged in mad whims. In the very beginning, the writer is talking about the man. Who is this man? This man is an artist. So this is the artist, never believed in utility. Utility means others' use or any kind of work. Having had no useful work to do, he indulged in mad whims. So he is not having any kind of work where no he can contribute something. So what he is doing? He is indulged in mad whims. Mad whims. Whims means something other doesn't understand. So this first line is from others' perception. Like no, a man never believed in utility. Who is telling that no, for those that no, they consider that work is everything. They consider that those who are busy, they are doing something productive. But this person, he is only in his imagination. So from the person's point of view, he is useless person. He made little piece of sculpture, men, women, and castles, quaint earthen things dotted over with seashells. So he made little piece of sculpture. He is into sculpture. What he was doing, he was spending his time not like others, the way they were busy in doing work and earning money. What he was doing, he was making sculpture of men, women, castle, and quaint. Quaint means attractive things. Quaint earthen things. And these attractive things were made up of clay. So he was using certain kind of material, and out of that he was preparing certain men, women, castle, and all such things. And series of dot he was keeping on this earthen things, and this series of dots of seashells he was using. He painted thus, and he painted also. So he was into painting, sculpting, he was doing sculpture, and thus he wasted his time on all that was useless and unnecessary. So this is again from the other's point of view, that no, he was wasting his time in useless and unnecessary things. People were considering it petty things, that no, why to waste time in such things, in painting and all such kind of things. People laughed at him. Sometimes he would vow to shake off his mad whims. But so he tried to, he vowed to shake off. So he tried to change himself. That no, people were laughed at it. They were mocking on him. And sometimes he would vow to shake off his mad whims. But his mad whims would keep clinging to his mind. So he was thinking that no, I should change myself. But no, still his whimsical ideas were not sticking in his mind. So he couldn't do anything. Only he can utilizing his time in artistic things. Some boys never ply their books and yet pass their exams. Sometimes what happens that students don't study for whole year, and when the exam comes, luckily they pass the exam. So this is what happened. Ply means work busily. They don't work or they don't even study throughout the year, but they could pass the exam. A similar thing happened to this man. He spent all his life in unnecessary work on the planet Earth. So this is what has happened to this person also. Throughout his life, he did nothing from others' point of view. He did nothing. He even not worked. And what has happened? He spent his whole life in such kind of unnecessary things on this earth. Yet, after his death, after his death, the gates of the heavens flung open for him. But then also, after his death, he could be at heaven, and this is what the heaven's gates were open for him. But the moving finger writes even in the heavens. So moving fingers. What is the meaning of moving fingers writes? Moving finger writes means karma writes its fate. So karma, practice of karma is also there in heaven. So but the moving finger writes even in the heavens. So karma writes its fate in the heaven also. So it came to pass that, came to pass means it happened that the aerial messenger who took charge of the man made a mistake and found a place for him in workers' paradise. And by mistake, Ariel means angel, aerial messenger means angel who took the soul of the people from the earth to the heaven or hell. By mistake, he took this person's soul to the workers' paradise. So luckily, he reached to the heaven. And what kind of heaven? That is workers' paradise. In this paradise, you will find everything except pleasure. So in this, what kind of paradise, what kind of workers' paradise it was? In this paradise, you see that people were into works only. You will find everything there except leisure. You cannot spend time leisurely. You cannot spend time in your whims, in your imagination. Here, men say. So here in heaven, men say, God, we haven't a moment to spare. So we are so busy that we don't have even moment to spare on any kind of leisure action or work or things to do. Women whisper. So not only men, what women used to say? Women whisper, let's hurry Oh, on dear, time's a flying. So hurry up, hurry up. Time is flying, like that way. All exclaim, time is precious. So time is precious, it is valuable. If you don't work, you may not get the value of the time. We always have our hands full. We should have our hands full of work. We are making use of every single minute. And we are utilizing this minute, every single minute, to do work. They sighed complainingly, and yet those very words make them feel happy and exalted. Though they were complaining, but this kind of complaint for them was happy complaint, no? Because they were happy to do certain kind of works. They were happy to complain that no, time is precious. We have lots of work to do, and they were feeling happy and rejoiced. Exalted means rejoiced. But this newcomer, who had passed all his life on the planet Earth without any employment, did not fit in with the scheme of things in workers' paradise. So the person who whole life spent on the earth without any kind of work, he could not fit well to this paradise. With what kind of paradise? This is workers' paradise, where people were in hustle, bustle, busy. They were having, their hands were having full of works. So he could not even, fit into this, to this workers' paradise. So did not fit in with the scheme of things. Scheme of things means works, everything. He lodged in the streets absent-mindedly and jostled with hurrying men. So he lodged means moved around. So what he was doing, he was just moving here and there absent-mindedly and jostled. Jostles means bumped. He bumped with the hurrying men, those who are running, those who are utilizing their each and every moment of the time. So he was bumped with them, with such kind of men. He lay down in the green meadows and was taken to task by busy farmers. So what he was doing, he was just lying down in this green meadow. He was always in the way of others. And when he was lying down, he was always in the way of others, those who are busy in their work. So in their work. So he was getting in a way of others, but people did not like this. So this is what the people were busy, and this person was just moving here and there without any aim or without any work. A hustling, active girl went every day to silent torrent. Now he is observing a girl, a hustling girl. Hustling means a busy, active girl went every day to a silent torrent. Torrent means a stream of water, right? So a silent torrent. Now, why the author has used this silent? So it is mentioned silent, for in the workers' paradise, even a torrent did not waste its energy by singing. So this stream of water is also would not like to waste its energy in singing and all, because this torrent is also like having showing the attitude that the torrent is also busy. This stream of water is also busy. To fill her pitcher, what this girl was doing every day. So active girl went every day to this silent torrent, this silent stream of water, to fill her pitcher with water. This is pitcher. Pitcher means small pot with the water. Picture and pitcher, both the things are different. The spelling of pitcher is Pitcher. So she was using these small pots to fetch the water from the stream. The girl's movement on the road was like the rapid movement of a skilled hand on the strings of a guitar. Now here you see the figures of speech, that is simile. Comparison is there. A girl's movement on the road. The way this girl was running from here to there actively, she was she was running because she would like to save her time. So a girl's movement on road was like, so her movement on the road is compared with the rapid movement of a skilled hand on the string of guitar. The way guitar is playing and the with the hand of artist, the same way the movement of girl is compared with the skilled hand on the string of guitar. Her hair was carelessly done, so it is suggesting that no, she was not investing time in herself. She was not even into a kind of grooming and all. So a few inquisitive wisps flew on to her white forehead to peep at the dark wonder of her eyes. So her hair was carelessly done, and a few inquisitive wisps. Wisps means curly hair. So as it was carelessly done, so the lock of her hair is somewhere flowing on his head. So a white forehead to peep at the dark wonder of her eyes. So as it is without combed hair, so curly hair was disturbing or is flowing on his head. So this is the description of a girl from the artist point of view. The man who was sitting just leisurely and observing this girl. So the unemployed man was standing by the fountain motionless, and this unemployed man who is artist was standing by that fountain motionless. As a princess sees a lonely beggar through her window and is filled with pity, and this lady, she was looking at this artist, and she had a kind of pity and concern for this person. Lonely beggar. Why lonely beggar? Because he doesn't have any work to do, and he was looking like a beggar. So she was having a kind of pity. This girl was having a kind of pity on this artist, and that's why the word beggar has been used, because he was poor, that who was not having even work to do. So the busy girl of the heaven saw the unemployed man and was filled with the pity, and he was thinking that he is not having work, he is unemployed, and she was feeling pity on that unemployed man. Aha, she said, you haven't any work in hand, have you? What she has said to that artist, she said that no, you are not having any kind of work. The man cited, work? I haven't a moment to spare for work. He's telling that no, I don't have any even moment to spare time on work or for work. The girl did not understand his words, so she said, I may manage to spare some work for you if you like. So out of pity, out of concern, she is asking that person that if you are interested to do some work, I can give you some work to do. The man replied, girl of the silent torrent. So the man replied, a girl of the silent torrent, because he didn't know the name of that girl, so he doesn't know his name, so he addresses her like a girl of the silent torrent. All this time I have been waiting here only to take some work from your hands. So he is telling that I am here waiting just to take some work from you only. She asked, "What sort of work would you like?" He said, "Girl of the silent torrent, couldn't you give me one of your pictures? One which you could spare?" So she has asked, curiously, "Okay, if you would like to work, then what kind of work I can spare for you?" So that artist is saying that, "Oh, a girl of the silent torrent, couldn't you give me one of your pictures, the water pot that no, if you have in your hand, you can spare your, or can you give me that pictures which is there in your hand?" She asked, "A picture? Perhaps you should like to draw water from the torrent." She was thinking that, "No, you require a picture from my hand because you would like to no utilize it, or no, you need to help me, or you would like to help me to draw a water from the torrent. So this is how, no, you require this kind of work from me." He replied, "No, I will draw I will draw pictures. I will draw pictures on your picture." See, here the word picture means painting, photo on your pictures. I will draw a picture on your picture. This is picture. Picture means a photo or an image. I would like to draw a picture on your picture. So that's why I require your picture. So the girl became annoyed and said, "I have no time to waste on people such as you. I am going." So she's telling that, no, she gets annoyed, and that's why she said, why are you wasting such time, by making this picture and all such things on picture. So I'm running, as such I'm running short of time, and while talking to you I am really wasting my time. And away she went, and she went away. But how could a busy person get the better of one who had nothing to do? Every day they met, and every day he said to her, Girl of the silent torrent, give me one of your pictures. I will draw picture on it." So give me that pot of water, pot, small pots, so that I can draw a picture. Always, whenever she visits this torrent, at that point of time, the person always asks this thing. At last, she had to give away and hand him over one of her pictures. And at last, she gives the pictures to that artist. The man began to paint on it. He drew line after line, he put colors after colors, and the person was so happy, an artist became so happy to get that picture, and he has started painting on it, line after line, and put color after color. When he had finished, the girl held up the picture and started at its side with eyes filled with wonder, then brows drawn into an arc. She asked, "What do they mean? All these lines and all these colors, and what is their purpose?" So when this girl was observing this person, was thinking that, no, what kind of artistic things this person is doing, this art and all such kind of things. What does it mean? What is the purpose? And what all these colors? And what is, why? What is the motto behind it? The man laughed. "Nothing. A picture never has any meaning, and it never serves any purpose." So this is what from layman's point of view, those who are not artists, from their point of view, this is nothing. All these lines and all these colors mean nothing. There isn't any purpose to serve. The girl went away with her picture. At home, away from prying eyes, she held it in the light, turned it round, and scanned the painting from all angles. And when she was at her home, she was observing. She was observing all such lines and paintings from all the angles. At night, she left her bed, lit a lamp, and scanned it again in silence and wonder. And at night, she observed the painting, and she was wondered with the silence. In the silence, for the first time in her life, she had seen something that had no meaning and no purpose at all. When she set out for the torrent the next day, her hurrying feet were a little less hurrying than before. So earlier, her movement on the road was considered with the rapid movement of a skilled hand on the strings of guitar. The same way, now her movement has been changed. Now it is little less hurrying, because in night time she was wondering and thinking, and she was finding the meaning and purpose of it, but she couldn't find. And she had seen something that it hasn't any meaning or purpose at all. But when in the next day she was moving towards the torrent, she was slow, she was not in hurry, for in her mind thoughts had arisen, thoughts that had no meaning and no purpose at all. And she was having a kind of thought without any meaning and without any purpose. She saw the unemployed man standing by the torrent, and she asked confusedly, "But what? What do you want from me?" And she saw the employed man standing by the torrent, that unemployed man, that artist. And she was asking that, what would you like, or how can I help you, and what do you want from me? He said, "Only some more work from your hands." And that artist has said that more works means more pictures. And what sort of work would you like? Then she has asked that, what sort of work? "Let me weave a colored ribbon for your hair, if you will." So she was earlier thinking that she would be like, he would be like to have pictures or some other kind of work. So this person is telling that, let me weave a colored ribbon. So let me weave a kind of colorful ribbon for you, for your hair, if you desire, if you will. "And what for?" And that lady is asking, "For what? Why?" "Nothing." The person said, artist said, "Nothing," because he always says that there isn't any purpose, there isn't any meaning. So in his work, from others' point of view, there isn't any purpose or any meaning. So, and what for? And nothing. Ribbons were made gleaming with colors, and when the ribbons were made with gleaming means bright colors, the busy girl of Workers' Paradise had to now spend a long time every day in tying the colored ribbon round her hair. The minutes slide by unutilized, much work was left unfinished. So she has started extra time to tie her hair. It means she has started spending extra time on herself. Earlier, that it is mentioned that she was not even spending her time on combing her hair. Now what she is doing with that ribbon, she has started using her time to comb her hair, decorate her hair, right? So in workers paradise, and when she was busy into such things, obviously the time is getting fly, and as a result of it she was spending her more time into on herself, and uh, from others point of view, from workers point of view, this is unutilized time. So much work was left unfinished. In workers' paradise, work had of late begun to suffer. Many persons who had been active before were now idle, wasting their precious moments on unnecessary things such as painting and sculpture. So she was not the only affected by the art of this artist, but other people also. So whole workers paradise now suffering from the artistic way of living life, that they became idle, wasting their precious moment on unnecessary things like painting and sculpture. The elder became anxious. Those who were elders, those who were the seniors in this workers paradise, they have observed something new this time, so they became anxious about it. A meeting was called, and they have arranged the meeting. All agreed that such a thing had so far been unknown in the history of workers' paradise, and all were it's a kind of meeting. Meeting means panchayat kind of things. So in this meeting, they all were agreed that no such things had far been unknown in the history. So this thing has not happened earlier in this workers' paradise. What kind of thing? That no people were spending their time in painting and sculpture, which is called unnecessary things. The aerial messenger hurried in, bowed before the elders, and made a confession. And this aerial messenger, who earlier took the soul of this artist from the earth to this workers' paradise, this aerial messenger hurriedly, quickly come there. And what she said, she has made the confession. I bought a wrong man in this paradise. And that he made the confession, and he said that I brought a wrong man. Who is this wrong man? Artist in this workers' paradise. He said it is all due to him. This is all because of him you are facing, or you have to call this meeting. And no people are now into this painting and sculpture. The man was summoned, and that man was called. Which man? Artist. He came in. The elders saw his fantastic dress, his quaint brushes, his pile of paintings, and they realized at once that he was not the right sort for workers' paradise. And when this artist was called, at that point of time, he came with his fantastic dress in this artistic appearance. And these elders, they realized this person is not from here, or he cannot fit here in this workers' paradise. Stiffly means in astonished way, the president said, this is no place for the likes of you. Therefore, you will have to leave at once. And the president of this meeting has said, this is not the place for you, like you. And therefore, you will have to leave this place at once. The man cited in great relief. He became so happy, and he would like to do, because he realized that he is at wrong paradise, and and this is not the place where he can fit into. And gathered his brush and paint. He gathered his stuff. But as he was about to leave, the girl of the silent torrent came up, tripping, and said, and the way this has been said by the president, that no, and the person is about to leave this uh, paradise happily. At that point of time, this girl of the silent torrent came up, tripping. Tripping means she was almost no falling down, but she was running, and said, "Wait a moment, for I too will go with you." So this is the impact, no influence of this artist on this girl. That was, she would also like to leave this workers' paradise, and she is telling that no, I too will go with you. The elders gasped in surprise. They were all surprised, for never before had a thing like this happened in workers' paradise. So earlier also this hasn't happened, that no somebody would like to leave this workers' paradise, a thing that had no meaning and no purpose at all, and especially the thing which is useless, without any meaning or without any purpose. For that also people would like to leave this workers' paradise. So this is the story. This is the whole prose uh, with the meaning and discussion and analysis. Now the notes and other things I will provide you on Google Classroom. This is the glossary, as I have discussed earlier also while discussing the syllabus, that long question answer will be asked from the prose and short questions will be asked from the poetry. So for long question answer, I will be providing you the summary and the analysis and the gist of idea regarding this prose. So as short questions will not be asked in the examination, I am not discussing, especially for the proses. These are the glossary will help you to understand the meaning, right? So kindly have a glance over it. Thank you. Here I am winding up the prose, A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. In next lecture, I will begin with the another poem, Punishment in Kindergarten. Thank you for listening me.